Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to look at our last version of Galaxy in BT22, the blue-based, blue hybrid Galaxy deck. And before we get into it, I want to know, now that we're at the end of the Galaxy profiles, which color did you prefer? What are you playing? Or are you just playing pure Galaxy without sticking to one color? Starting with our eggs, we have the one extra copy of EX5 Moonmon here. When you play a Tamer with the Nightclaw or Lightfang trait, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand. We do have the Ukkomons, we do shovel through eggs in this deck, and because of some special considerations in our level 5 pool, this egg has some potential to get us some nutty value that I will talk about when we get there. We are also going to run the 4 copies of BT22 Moonmon. When effects place this Digimon's top stack card as its bottom source, draw one, then trash one card in your hand. This is going to be especially good because of the new Sayo that lets us Digivolve into things in the trash. So we do need this as trash setup to ensure that we have some value pieces where we want them when we need them there. We're going to run 4 copies of the EX5 Lunamon in our level 3 pool. Start your main phase by returning one of your Digimon to your hand and gain 2 memory. That's going to be an extremely flexible effect that has the potential to always set us up for a 3 memory play. We also have the Inheritable here main once per turn by placing the top card of this Digimon with the Nightclaw or Lightfang trait as this Digimon's bottom source. Gain 2 memory. This is also fantastic. Great way to shuffle your stack to enable the 2 same level sources that we need for Sayo, Crescemon, Dianamon, and get memory back to maintain tempo. We are going to run 4 copies of the BT22 Lunamon. It's an on-play searcher that reveals top 3, adds a card with the Nightclaw trait, and 1 card with Lightfang or Galaxy in them to the hand and return the rest to the bottom. In this deck, that's really just going to grab a Nightclaw trait card and then potentially a Koh and Sayo. The Inheritable also lets us place the top of this Nightclaw or Lightfang trait Digimon as our bottom source to draw 1. Incredible turn 1 play you can do here is put an EX5 Lunamon in the back, hard play the Lunamon out front, do your search, and the next turn when you promote this Lunamon, if this Lunamon doesn't get popped, you just bounce it back to your hand, gain 2 memory. You're on 3, and you are ready to roll. We are going to round out our rookies 3 copies of Ukkomon. We have so many Tamers in this deck that we want to see that Ukkomon is a great way for us to find pieces and grab Tamers. It's going to hatch us an extra egg, give us some tempo, and I just feel like it's a perfect fit for the last level 3 in this pool. Moving on to level 4s here. 2 copies of the BT16 Gaogamon. When Digivolving, both players draw 1 card from their decks. Then if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hands, or this Digimon has 3 or more Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. Fantastic effect, especially with, you can see a Lobomon there. We're going to have the AncientGarurumon in our deck as well, so we have the potential to force the opponent to lose cards from their security with this effect. Otherwise, it's just a really efficient way for us to Digivolve into a level 4 with that gaining 1 memory part of the effect. Also gives us jamming, which feels really nice on our top end. We are going to run the 1 copy of the promo Lobomon. When Digivolving, this Digimon can Digivolve into an AncientGarurumon in your hand for a cost of 1, ignoring its requirements, and if it does, delete this Digimon at the end of turn. Also has an Inheritable where, when Digivolving this card into an Ancient Gar, reduce its cost by 2. Both effects are fantastic. That when Digivolving is going to synergize really nicely with our level 5 pool. Being able to get into the AncientGarurumon, even if it dies at end of turn, still means that you are bouncing one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon to hand. They are losing a security, and then you're going to get to play a Tamer off of the AncientGarurumon deletion effect, which nets us value because we want lots of Tamers on the board, and they're all very expensive. That Inheritable also comes up. It is very effective because we have the ability to just have this in a stack sometimes, and that means that we can get into AncientGarurumon for 2 instead of 4. We are also going to run the 3 copies of BT17 Lobomon. We don't have any yellow Tamer, so we can't actually warp onto a Tamer here, but this does evo on a blue level 3 for 3, and when Digivolving, we don't have Kendo, but if we have the black or purple Digimon or Tamer, this Digimon can Digivolve into Ancient Gar in hand for cost of 3, ignoring its requirements, and if this effect Digivolved, delete this Digimon end of turn. Same thing as the promo Lobo, costs a little bit more, but we have some shenanigans that we can do with this that we'll talk about when we get to level 5 pool. Again, when attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1, just another way to keep our hand full, so great piece to have in our stack in that aspect as well. We're going to round it out with 4 copies of the Lekismon from BT22. When Digivolving, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, play a Tamer with the Nightclaw or Lightfang trait from your hand without paying the cost. This effect can't play cards with the same name as any of your Tamers, so as long as we get 2 level 4s in our stack, we can play a Tamer for free, which we love because, again, those Tamers are expensive and we want to be able to get lots of them on the board. We also have the Inherit that says when this Digimon with the Nightclaw, Lightfang, or Galaxy trait would be deleted by trashing 2 same level cards from its sources, it is not deleted. That's going to be excellent for us to keep our stack safe and apply a lot of really annoying pressure and control in this deck. On to our level 5s here, we're starting with 2 copies of the EX5 Crescemon when this Digimon will be played or Digivolved into. If you have a Digimon with 3 or more sources and the Nightclaw, Lightfang, or Galaxy trait, reduce the play or Digivolution cost by 2. On play, when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon can't suspend, and then an opponent's turn, this Digimon gets plus 2k DP. The 2k DP bonus is kind of the least impressive part of this card. I really like the tempo this gives by allowing us to reduce the Digivolution cost by 2 on our stack. That helps us get ahead quite a bit, and it is another level 5 that we can shuffle under our stack for some shenanigans later. We are going to run the 2 copies of Huankunmon from EX6. On play, when digivolving, you may play 1 level 3 blue Digimon card from one of your blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost, and then when attacking, by placing one of your other blue Digimon as this Digimon's bottom source, unsuspend this Digimon. This does a lot for the deck. First of all, it fixes some of the tempo issues I was having with this deck. By allowing us to unsuspend, we apply a little bit more offensive pressure on the opponent. We're at less risk of actually decking out with this deck before we can kill the opponent, so that's huge for us. Also, we can make sure that we can suck back up our Lunamon adherents so that we can actually keep reducing our stack back down by 1 level and getting memory off of that. So that's also important. But that on play when digivolving giving us access to the level 3 has some other sneaky implications here. If we play out a level 3, that does immediately open up access into the Lobomon plays, where you can evo the Lobomon on top of that level 3 that you play, get into an Ancient Gar, and then potentially be bouncing something to the opponent's hand and trashing a security. Depending on how much memory you have set up, if you can get a level 5 in raising, use the Koh and Sayo to shuffle this underneath and get into a Huankun. You pay out the level 3. You're still on 3 memory. You evo into like Promo Lobo for 2, and then you pay 1 to get an Ancient Gar. You're still at 0 after blowing up an opponent's lowest play cost Digimon, and then you can potentially get into one of these other level 6 Digimon here with the Sayo for a reduced cost, put the opponent in a really bad spot, remove 2 of their bodies, they're choked down on memory, and even better, if you have this Moonmon in the source that has Huankun underneath it, when you play your level 3 and then go into Lobo, if you go into this Lobo that costs a little bit more and you pass turn off of going into Ancient Gar, when the Ancient Gar is deleted and you play out the Tamer off of its effect, well, now you can get the free evo off of the EX5 Moonmon, and your level 5 can get into a level 6 without actually paying the cost. Or you could get into a level 7, because this does not specify what level your Digimon has to be and what kind of Digimon you can digivolve into. Just as long as the Tamer that you play has the Nightclaw or Lightfang trait, this Digimon may digivolve into a card in the hand. So that's going to open us up to digivolving into some level 7s as well. We are going to round out our level 5 count with Crescemon from BT22. Has jamming. When digivolving, draw 1, trash 1 in your hand. And then if this Digimon has 2 or more same level sources, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. Awesome effect, freeze down the board, and then we double up on that protection inherent. For our level 6s here, 1 copy of Hexeblaumon. You could totally slot in Mirage in this slot. I think we have enough bouncing. I understand the memory gain is fantastic, but Hexeblau kind of serves me a little bit better in the hyper-aggressive meta here. Security +1, Ice Clad. When digivolving, trash any 4 sources under your opponent's Digimon. Then if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, return a Tamer to bottom deck. That Tamer hate is really important here. And opponent's turn, none of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer sources as this Digimon can suspend. That's also fantastic here because we have the ability to double up on our sources by shuffling our top source to the bottom and then Digivolving again. So this should have lots of sources underneath it. We also get the protection effect on the Crescemon and Lekismon. This gets really hard to remove, stops your opponent from attacking, and applies a tremendous amount of pressure with Sec +1 and the Tamer hate. So I like this over Mirage currently. 3 copies of the AncientGarurumon from BT17 we have talked about. On play and when digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to the hand. This is kind of where we get into a little bit of trouble. Because if the opponent has 2 bodies on board, sometimes you're forced to remove the smaller body. They keep the bigger one. Mirage shines a little bit better in that circumstance because you can pick a level 5 or lower. So there's definitely times with this card where the opponent has a level 5 on board and a level 3 on board. You're forced to bottom deck the level 3, but Mirage actually answers the level 5 and leaves the level 3 on board. But this has a lot of upside here. So your turn once per turn, when an effect adds cards to you or your opponent's hand, your opponent adds the top card of their security to the hand. That's going to be great because this bounces something to their hand, so they're going to lose a security while losing a card. Also, when the Gaogamon goes off and you force your opponent to draw a card, if this is chilling on board, they're going to lose the security as well. On deletion, you may return a Tamer card and a hybrid trait Digimon from your trash to the hand. Then you may play a Tamer card from your hand without paying the cost. That's just a great way for us to accrue value. We go level 3, promoted, get into the Lobo, go into this, and we guarantee that we are removing a body and getting a Tamer for our trouble, as well as removing a security. So just an excellent level 6 to pair with our CS Nightclaw shenanigans. We're going to run 4 copies of the BT22 Dianamon, has Ice-Clad Blocker. When digivolving, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, trash any 4 sources from your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer sources to the bottom of the deck. Extremely powerful removal effect there. Stripping the sources is fantastic, and then bottom decking something. Most cards only have protection against deletion right now, unless you're playing against something that is much more meta with a wider range of protection effects. End of your turn, one of your Digimon may unsuspend, and our inherit doubles up on that. So even if this gets shuffled underneath your stack, being able to unsuspend is a really, really great inherit. It's going to prevent you from getting swung back over, and sometimes you don't even need to unsuspend this. You can unsuspend a smaller body that caught in for a jamming check like the Crescemon, and make sure that your opponent can't swing over that, and then they probably can't swing over the Diana because it has Ice Clad anyways, so it gives you some options, and it's really strong. We're going to move on to level 7s. One copy of BT22 Omnimon. Blocker, decode, on play when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. When Digivolving, for every 2 same level cards this Digimon stack has, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then this Digimon may attack. We are stacking sources in this deck. This is going to bottom deck 1 to 2 Digimon on your opponent's board on average, and then this gets to swing when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. I mean, this is wiping 3 cards off the board very easily, and then we get to unsuspend it with blocker because of the Dianamon inherit that should be underneath this most of the time. Just an incredible level 7 for the deck. We are also going to run the Merciful mode. This card just hates on graveyards. We have the potential to have like 3 mega level Digimon in this stack because we can have the Dianamon shuffled to the bottom, another level 6 on top, and then the Omnimon go into Merciful mode. We are then deleting 3 bodies and then bottom decking 10 cards from trash. Denies a lot of great decks that like to play with the trash, so I like the 1-of copy in this deck. We are on 4 copies of Mental Training. Just reveals top 2. You get a blue card among them to hand. Hits just about everything in this deck. 1 copy of Hammer Spark helps us push a little bit better. You can also go Ice Wall in this slot. Kind of goes back and forth on what I like, but I think the Hammer Spark is a little bit better for helping us push, especially if we're playing out those level 3s with Huankun. And then we do have to pay a little extra memory when going from Huankun into Dianamon, so Hammer Spark helps a little bit in that respect. 3 copies of Sayo, starting your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory, and then when one of your Digimon with 2 or more same level sources attacks by suspending this Tamer, Digivolve it into a Digimon card with Nightclaw Lightfang Galaxy, with the cost reduced by 2. That is also excellent because it does not specify that a Nightclaw Lightfang trait Digimon has to be attacking, so Huankun with 2 same level sources can still swing and get into a Dianamon in the trash. That is important to note. We are then going to finish off with 3 copies of Koh Sayo, Memory Setter, on play and main by suspending this Tamer and placing the top card of one of your Lightfang Nightclaw trait Digimon as your bottom source. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into a card in your hand without paying the cost. So that's going to let us shuffle. Let's say we have a Crescemon on board, we can shuffle the Crescemon to the bottom and then Digivolve into Huankun without paying the cost. And it's a Memory Setter, so it guarantees us 3 on the turn. Just absolutely essential for a Galaxy deck. So that is it for my Blue Galaxy deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, what are you doing with Galaxy? Which color are you rolling with, or are you just playing pure Galaxy? Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.